Okay, today we're talking about the PC, how to meet one-on-one with a rep. And just to first start out, I would write down you want to do this every single week by pretty much Tuesday at midnight. So our best assistant managers really try to do it Mondays and Tuesdays. Ideally, you get it done before the week starts. Also thinking about it, you want to have a one-on-one meeting with the plan set up for the rep. So ideally, they could come to the Sunday phone jam, right? And then they're actually phoning on Sunday night to get demos for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Keep in mind, if you do it on Tuesdays, you can do that, which is good. It's just that now they're already one day in and they don't really have a plan immediately. So the 2.0 version is, can you have a plan set up with the rep before they even go into the week. So that way they can phone on Sunday night. Because who's ever coached a rep where, you just didn't have them know the plan, so they just didn't get stuff done beforehand. And then they're like, I don't know how many demos I want to set up. So I'm going to show you guys this document. We're going to walk through the PC, the AC PC, and let's check it out and see what we've got. So there are a couple different parts. Hey, who knows the three things that helps a rep sell? There are three main things. They feel good, they have a plan, and they have people to call. I would write that down. They feel good, they have a plan, and they have people to call. You're going to notice in this document, I designed this to get all those points. So this isn't going to take too long to go through. I'm going to walk through each of these, and a lot of it is self-explanatory, but I'm going to spend a little bit of time on a couple of these sections. Okay, so how long should the PC be? Pretty much, within 30 minutes or so, right? You can do it in 20 minutes, 25 minutes, but I would always carve out 30 minutes. Now, if it's an SC2 PC or a push period PC, you want to do about an hour for that. What does PC even stand for, by the way? Some people say performance check, some people say personal coaching, some people say personal consultation. It doesn't matter though, but for us, it's a personal coaching session that we do with our office. Okay, so the first thing is building rapport. Let's walk through some of these things. Tell me about yourself. What do I not know about you yet? Hey, remember at this point, you should have spent some time getting to know them the last couple days on PDI, but it's not like you know everything about the person. The goal with rapport is to treat them like a human being, get to know them a little bit better. Because otherwise, if you're only talking to them about Cutco stuff, which up until this point in coaching them, you probably have, it's good to say, hey, look, I care about you as a person. So what do you like most about the job so far? Tell me about that. What do you like least? What do you think most people say? Right? It's normal to say phoning. Phoning sucks, right? And it's okay to acknowledge that. I'm fine with them saying that. It's not a negative thing in the conversation. It's just getting that elephant in the room out of the way. What's your biggest challenge so far? Hey, if you think about CPR, right? CPR breathes life into a person. Closing, phoning, recommendations. What's your biggest challenge so far? Well, that's how you can direct the PC. Do you guys get that? So once you know their main thing they need to get better at, that's what you're spending time diving into with the conversation. What's your strength so far? Tell me about that. And then this one right here, this is the vision painting. This is the why, WHY. Start with why, right? So why are they even doing this? What do you want to gain from this job? And then you're going to vision paint later on with that. Okay, so let's talk about going through this schedule. So remember, feel good, they already have that. Have a plan is the next one. So with having a plan, you're going to say paper or spreadsheet. Now, with the paper copy, they do have a page in their manual. It's on page 24. So we can get them this schedule here, and they can print this out if they're more of a paper copy person. Personally, I like to use the spreadsheet because it's just easier, because that way you can do it with them. So you're going to click on this. Let's use this. This is what I recommend. It says file, make a copy, and then we're going to fill out the spreadsheet. So here's what the spreadsheet looks like. I already have it loaded up. All right. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do file, make a copy, and then you've got their spreadsheet right here. Let's say this is John's schedule, Johnny fake rep. Okay. So with this, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, John, when do you have stuff we have to block off that's going on? Okay. And then you can even put the dates, right? So right now it's August 25th. Watch this. You can actually just drag this over and it fills in the dates for you. Boom, look at that. Right? So you can actually do that I would recommend doing that for the entire couple weeks, and then that way they can see what they have going on. So let's say he's got class right here. You're just going to block off class, and then you can write down class, right? Right down here. Okay, I'm not going to do this, you know, with every single thing, but you get the idea. So let's pretend they have class there, and then they have church this night. So you're blocking certain things off that they have going on. So once we block off everything they have going on throughout the week, and you can even do like, hey, if these two are the same, you'll get good at spreadsheets, but you can do something like that. So you know when they have stuff going on. Okay. So that's the first thing. We always have to block out the stuff they for sure have going on. When you make a schedule, put in your have tos. Okay. The next thing we do is we put in the Cutco stuff. So obviously the team meeting is in there. We've got champions clubs, right? So we're going to confirm them for the team meeting. So what I would do is I'd look at the schedule and be like, hey, so we've got the team meeting right here. Are you good to make it to that? Would anything pop up? Okay, we're good. And then who's ever said, hey, what champions clubs do you want to come to? And then the rep just doesn't show up. Okay, it's because it wasn't in the schedule. So right here, if we're going to confirm which champions clubs they're coming to, you can highlight them if you want. Hey, let's pick the days right now, which champions clubs you're coming to. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that sounds great to me. Let's highlight those ones. Or put a star next to them. Or I don't know, delete these ones if they're not going to be coming to them. That's okay too. You can even make them, just get them white right there so they don't see that in their schedule. Okay, so now that we've put that stuff in, we're gonna pick a sales goal. All right. Ask them what they want to shoot for, but then I'd always give your opinion too. Challenge them to go big. And then what would be a good thing to shoot for? For sure over 1,000. You should always pick over 1,000 at least. Right? But some of your top reps, if they're getting out of their fast start, or let's say they're going for 10K and they've sold 3 grand so far, you're going to say, hey, what's your goal this week? Exactly 7,000 because we want to help you hit that 10K. And then we got to put their goals in for the spreadsheet. Okay, so how do we do that? On the top right up here, just like if you're doing an SC2 schedule, let's put in how many demos you want to do each day. All right, so if this was I just realized I was highlighting on the other spreadsheet. I probably should have done that because that's the one that we want to use. All right, there you go. So with this, all right, let's say they want to do 2 this day. How about the next day? 3, 2, 3. The way I say this, because I get a lot of questions on this of like, you know, how do you determine a goal for the rep? Here's how you say it. Hey, what do you have going on tomorrow? How many demos could you fit in? Out of those, how many do you want to do? So it's block off the stuff they have going on. How many could you squeeze in? How many do you want to do? So, okay, let's take a look. How many could you do? 1, 2, probably not this one because it's too close. 3, 4, 5. So out of the 5 you could do tomorrow, how many of those do you want to do? 2? Okay, sounds good. This one, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could do 5. Out of those 5, how many would you like to do? 3? Okay, great. Now this next one's around the team meeting. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, maybe that third slot you could do, that'd be your max. How many would you like to do? Yeah, let's just stick with 1 for that day. I understand that. Do you guys see how that works? And then right here, it's going to load up the amount right there. And then what do we do? Well, if the rep doesn't have a plan in their web PDI app, their vector impact app, they're not going to have a plan and they're not going to go towards that. So you ever had a rep and you've talked to them and said, how many demos you want to do tomorrow? And they're like, I don't know, maybe 5, right? They just don't know the answer. Well, here's what you're going to do next. We're going to go to the web PDI app. Okay. And I'm going to be intentional not to scroll over to show you the reps, but this is what you would do. You just go in there and be like, okay, Thomas, how many demos do you want to do? Okay, that's right. We said, actually, let's just look at this. 2, 3, 1, 3, and then you just go through Tuesday. It's like, all right, 2, 3, 1, oops, 1, 3. And here's the beauty about that. That actually shows up on their app. Make sense? So when you type that into the web PDI stuff, it shows up on their end. Okay, so now they've got a really good plan of what they're doing, and then everybody on the whole staff can see that plan. Does that look good? So we've got to make sure we have all their stuff entered in. So now again, what you're doing is half the battle of just making the plan of what they want to shoot for. So now when they show up to Champions Club tomorrow, you can actually say, "Hey John, let's check out your schedule real quick. How many did you want to do the next couple days? Two, three, one. Okay, so when you say, Mrs. Jones, I want to do this many demos, what are you going to suggest? Two plus three plus one. I want to do six demos by Thursday night to hit my goal. So I want to know if I could do a demo for you at 11 a.m. Or maybe how about when your husband gets home, maybe like 8 p.m., which works better for you guys? Now I know you guys know how to phone, and I know you know how to suggest times, but do you see how this is just like it's an airtight plan of exactly phoning with a purpose now, not just arbitrarily? Because here's the point, if they don't have a goal they're actually passionate about and shooting for, they're actually not going to go towards that. You guys know how that works with SC2, right? You had a concrete demo number every single day, so you phoned until you got that number pretty much. That's what we want to do, but just imagine doing that every single week with the rep. They know exactly what they have going on. This job is challenging when there's no schedule picked. Okay, let's keep it going here with the document. Hopefully that was helpful to see that. Okay, names list. The rest of this isn't going to take as long, I don't think, but for the names list, all right, let's pick your next top 20 best people. Let's check those out right now. Okay. What I would recommend doing is looking on page 19. There's some ideas on there, but I would really just be like, all right, John, go to a notebook, number the page 1 to 20. Let's at least get your best ones down right now. Hey, knife emojis. Do you have some knife emojis left that you haven't shown up or you haven't shown Cutco to yet? Okay, when you go to Web PDI, click on their green little plus button, and then you can click on Web PDI reports or some sort of report thing, right? And then this is what pops up. It's oh shoot, it logged out. I had this totally loaded up for you guys to see it, and I spent too much time not doing it. Let me just see if I can reload that up super quick here. I had it fully prepared for this, and it didn't happen. Okay, now I'm looking at it right now. It's VI reports. You click on the green button actions, VI reports. I'm not showing it to you because I don't want there to be a phone number on the Web PDI YouTube video. All right, so you click on Web PDI, VI reports, and then here's what loads up. Now you can actually see the legit thing of what like the rep's situation is. So over here, total in system, this is going to tell you how many prospects they have. You can even sort it by who has Cutco. Hey, it looks like in your app you've had four people who have had Cutco. Isn't this cool? It shows you even like the CPO. So this person, Max, he did four demos. He did all of his Cutco owners. He sold on three of the four. That's pretty cool. It shows the CPO right there. And then if you go down here, here's the part where this is really great. It shows you how many times you've called somebody. So right here, it's going to say how many times a person has called. Look at 3, 2, and 1. What does this tell all of you? This person just needs to call these people more times, right? That's not very many times. So showing this to the rep, you can even screen share this and show them what would be the next step, right? Who you want to show. So who are your next best people? I'm showing you some features that maybe you knew about, maybe you didn't, but it's nice to have these written down. And then try to brainstorm a little bit. Hey, April, have you shown some of your friends' moms yet? Oh, you've shown two? Okay, I know you played sports, right? Okay, how many people from the volleyball team have you shown? Only one? Okay, do you think you could brainstorm a couple of your friends' moms' numbers to get some of those down? Oh yeah, you gotta show those ones. Hey, who's your mom's best friend? So I could probably go through this with all of you, and you might even think of a couple people, as well. But I would also look at page 19. On page 19, we should have, and I know this is a very detailed way to look at this stuff, right? But page 19, you should have all the people in there that you can look at with the rep, and they can say, okay, which ones have I done? And they should be marking off right here, done. Which ones did I do? And say, hey, just show me that really quick. Okay, I'm looking right now. It looks like you still have 5 of your top 10 you can do. That's pretty solid. And you've got 4 other ones over here. So you have 9 of your top 20 you still can do. That's really exciting because that means that we still have people that we can show Cutco to. So focus on that one. Who are your top 5 that we need to get a hold of today that you can call right after this? Right? Is it okay to ask them to make 5 calls right after the PC is done? For sure. And then this is the part where you'll probably have the most fun with, because that's more admin stuff we were doing. Picking something they need to get good at. I don't need to explain that really, but if they suck at dropping down, have them role play pages 8 and 9, right? Have them role play the knee-jerk reactions. Have them role play doing the 3-set close. And then this is a good one, for recommendations. It's just, you know, I'm not getting a lot of recommendations. Okay, let me hear your recommendation approach. Hey Nick, I need to get some recommendations. Stop. Okay, that's not it. And I'll do that with a smile on my face. All right, that's not it. We just got to memorize that approach. Sound good? All right. How many minutes do we need to take for that? Yeah, it's probably gonna take you 10 to 15 minutes to memorize those first 7 bullet points. Let's get that done. That's one of your assignments. Okay. So here's the phoning plan. John, you want to do 3 demos tomorrow, two the next, I forgot the numbers, 3, 1, and 2. Okay. That's 6 demos combined. So how many calls do you think that'll take you? Well, if it's 6 demos, the 3-to-1 rule is 18. We'll call it probably 20. So remember the 2-day focus. By the end of today, you want to have the next 2 days booked up. So if we look back at your schedule, what's the only mission today? I don't care how much you sell in your appointments. What we got to do, that was the wrong thing to show. What we got to make sure we have set up is the 2 and 3. So we have to at least get 5 appointments lined up today, right? That'd be the 2-day rule. So let's get those on there, and then you go back to this and you say, what time will we be making calls to book up that number? So we want to get 5 set. Can you call me after to let me know how phoning goes at, 7 o'clock? All right, I'm going to put an alarm on my phone just to ask you a little bit later how that goes. Cool. Hey, John, do you mind if I share with you what I can see happening for you this upcoming fall and then into the spring and maybe even next summer? Okay, first of all, and they always say yes to that. First of all, here's the deal. I can see you being one of the top reps on our team, selling $1,000 to $2,000 or more than that every single week. If you do that for this campaign, even if you just sold $1,000 a week, there's 16 weeks, that's $16,000. You're gonna make about $4,000. You'd be on key staff at that point. You'd probably sell 16K, but more likely 20 to 30K because you're gonna keep getting better. I can see you being an assistant manager one day. You would stack your resume, right? You might even be able to learn how to run your own office this upcoming summer. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I can see you doing it. You have that leadership and potential. Also, you get way more experience than your peers too. So, what's your thought on all that? What do you think? And they'll usually say something like, "Oh, that sounds pretty good." Okay, cool. So that's what I can see happening for you. So do you guys see how that vision ties into this week right here? That's why this week matters, John, because if you sell $1,000 this week, you're now on pace to hit all the stuff that you wanted to. And you told me your whys in the beginning, right? Why are you even working here? Right? So that all ties into exactly what you told me in the beginning of this PC here. Okay. So to wrap things up here, one, phoning matters, right? What's the phoning plan again? Let me know. Okay, that's right. You're calling at 6 o'clock. You'll be done at 7. You're going to shoot me a text. Let me know how it goes. Do I have your permission to hold you accountable to that? That'd be something I would even add, right? Get permission. Because if you can get permission and say, hey, do I have your permission to challenge you towards this? That way there's an agreement. There's an agreement made, right? Your goal is to get 20 more numbers or whatever the number is you thought of. Memorize the recommendation approach. Hey, I know you missed the selling to Cutco owners Champions Club video. I'm going to send you that. It's like 25 minutes. Can you watch that and send me your takeaways on that one? Because I think that would really help you make some more sales. So give them some sort of a video to check out. Maybe even watch the advanced training again. That might be good to check out too. Try to see if you can set them up for a field training with you. Hey, ideally, you've got demos. So I've got a demo at this time and this time the next couple days. Which one can you come with? And if they can't come to one of those, and if you don't have demos, well, get them to go to a field training. I think everybody should be trying to field train with each other and collaborate with the other assistant managers on who would be a good person to have somebody go field training with. And then if you're doing the conference sign up, that's at the end of the PC. All right. So although I'm not spending a lot of time on this specific one, that is such an important one to do. So you should be pulling up your conference sign up sheet that I've made, that document. You read that and get them signed up on the spot. One more thing I would add on here that's not on here is something team builder related. So could you do this at the end of a PC? hey, we want to duplicate you. Who'd be like three people that you think might be looking for a job right now or would just be really fun to work with? Can we do a three-way text really quick and just be like, hey, my boss said we have some jobs available. Here they are. And then Callista says, hey, I'll call you and tell you more about it. Or, hey, John, would you be down to put up a social media post on your school story? Or would you be down to throw something up on your social media so we can get some applications? So try to do something team builder related at the end. If it's not on there, and I can throw that on there too. Awesome. Can't wait to talk to you. Can't wait to hear how it's going. Okay, so again, the PC matters when it's every single week. It also matters that you hit all those points. And if you notice, there'll be some parts we're not going to spend, the majority of time on that specific thing. It really depends on what the rep needs the most. All of you, if you're watching this video and you're on this call here, you're good enough with people where you can, that's why you're in this position. You're good enough with people where you can kind of fine tune it and figure out exactly what that person needs. Remember, we work with people. So although there's a script and something to be looking at, nobody's a robot, okay? We've got to be working with that person to get what they need out of that meeting. That's what it's all about. At the very least, the most simple PC is build a relationship with them, make sure you know their schedule, and make sure they know who they're calling next. That's really what matters the most. Feel good, have a plan, have people to call. All right, that is the PC. Check this out. Once you watch this, send me your takeaways and let me know what you think. I would love to hear some takeaways on what you think of this video.